right, it is another week. It is the Hot Seat Radio Show with me, Sean Fortine, Mighty Max, and executive producer D. Coulter, the one that funds all this. So if you guys are mad at this radio show and you want this show to stop, D. Coulter is the name. She's the one that sees the money, and she's the one that is part of the problem. So D, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Hey, you know me, doing my regular job, being the local troublemaker, fearing nobody, going to my VA appointments on time as I get older. I got to put that plug in there because as a veteran, I should be protected.
It sounds like a wonderful life.
Yes, it is. It is. You know, when that doctor puts that finger where, you know, you're not supposed to be, it's a wonderful life knowing that I'm alive. And there's no cancer cells found.
Oh, God. So, praise God.
There you go. A lot happening in the local thing. If you guys listened to my earlier show, which a lot of you guys are listening to that went to work, you guys are coming home from work now. A lot of stuff is happening. First, I want to talk about local moron, school board member Evan Moron, who goes by the name Morgan, but Moron.
I can't wait until there's nothing left about with him.
Well, like I said, they had the school board meeting last night. It was Valentine's Day, so a lot of us that have significant others or had things to do. If you saw my Facebook post, I was with my significant other. Is she laying down over there? No, she's not. And
I totally saw that and laughed.
Hey, yes, yeah. Oh, she's under the table. Okay, yeah. And then there's Belle. So Belle had her thing, but you know, it's just unfortunate that fell on a Valentine's Day where people were, you know, going out with their loved ones and doing that. But the bottom line is Evan Moron. The controversy with him is here is a man that was thrown out of the military for whatever reasons, claims to be an intel officer, personnel, however you want to call it, and his maturity level is not there. Because there's nothing wrong with a grown man playing with dolls. If it's G.I. Joe or Batman with the kids, you know, the kids are involved with that. You know what I mean? You know, you're playing with your kids. But here's a man who supposedly was intel. How intelligent. It reminds me of the Michael Flynn thing going on right now. This was an intel army general. Mm-hmm. And he is openly on a phone to the Russian embassy talking openly. We haven't seen the transcripts. And even though the Trumpsters out there are all, well, you know, they're making all these excuses. It doesn't matter.
Well, he didn't resign for nothing.
Right.
I've heard that it was a political hit. I've heard that it's what he did was there's a lot more to it. I'm waiting for the investigation to get finished.
Well, it hasn't even started. The Republicans are again. Of course, you know they're playing their political games.
Well, on MSNBC right now, it said both Grassley and Feinstein were asking the DOJ for a report on it.
Right, and then the DOJ is under what's his name, who just got confirmed Attorney General Sessions. So nothing's going to happen at that point. But what I'm saying is, here's a person that's and I kind of bring in people say, well, I was intelligence. You must be an idiot to call an embassy, a Russian embassy at that, and don't think it's not being monitored. Because even as a military member, and I was in Strategic Air Command, you can't get any more of a cold warrior than a Strategic Air Command person. Mm-hmm. Even in the military, I knew using military telephone lines, I'm not going to openly discuss personal matters and things like that in there because it could be monitored.
I mean, even at a regular job.
Right. You wouldn't do that. So this moron videotapes himself simulating forcible rape with baby dolls.
I mean, I'm not laughing.
Yeah, you are.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But you were in intel? That calls into question our intelligence apparatus in the United States, to me. But again, he didn't even make it to A school, from my understanding, or whatever. So, his claims on that, he videotapes himself, the guy that's supposed to be in intel, videotapes himself doing a crime.
Yeah.
And people say, well, that's not a crime. Street racing is a crime.
Yes.
Okay. That's a videotape on that. Then, of course, his homophobic, racist, such and rants.
Just to clarify, the street racing didn't go on when he was 16 or 17?
No. The playing with the dolls didn't go on. Oh. It happened 7 years ago. I mean, Evan Moron is in his 30s. So this is a grown man.
Yeah, it was in the late 20s when the whole depiction of the kidnapping and rape thing with the dolls happened.
Jeez.
And his kids are not nowhere in the video. Now, his wife left him. Yeah. And his wife left him. Smart move, I guess, looking at this point, because obviously this guy has a mental disorder. And, Sean, we talk about mental health all the time. And I'm going to say this, Mr. Moron, go get some help.
Yeah, that sounds like pretty good advice.
Yes. And again, if you're an intel person, you do not do these things and then put your ass up there and run for public office like they're going to disappear.
That's the weird part to me.
And
we knew it was out there.
Right. And then you run for the school board. It's one if you're like Victoria Baca or LaDonna Jimson, crooked LaDonna Jimson. That's one thing. But you're dealing with children.
How come that stuff didn't come out while he was running?
Well, remember, his chances of winning was always slim to none. And remember, the election was rigged.
Okay, yeah, because so
it wouldn't matter because here are people who didn't campaign, who didn't go to any forums, and they win with.
So basically, no one took him seriously. They didn't think he was even a candidate.
Yeah, I mean, if you counted the votes right now, and this is what kills me about this city, nobody gets outraged at the outright criminality of what goes on in this district alone, District 1. There were more votes cast than people registered to vote.
Well, does Highland Fairview have an opinion on this?
Of course not.
Even though it's regarding one of their candidates or employees working with children.
Of course not.
Even though the person is simulating, and I've seen the video.
Well, you got to remember, Highland Fairview backs candidates with suspicious backgrounds. Victoria Baca, Mike Rios, who was pimping and pandering while on the school board.
Not even a defender, and maybe I'm wrong, but didn't they back Mike Rios?
Yes, they did.
Before they found out he was pimping and pandering?
Yes.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying now. Has Highland Fairview made a statement of some kind?
Of course not.
Rios also convicted of threatening people with a gun.
Yes, at the Shark Bar. Max, I'm very sure you've. No.
Let me tell you, Shark Bar karaoke Monday night.
Right. Yes. Okay. But here's the thing: Highland Fairview backs candidates that are in financial distress. Anything that they can use to blackmail them to make them run.
It just seems like there has to be a limit to where you say, okay, you know what? We'll totally do this.
No.
We ain't going to do that.
No. And since we're talking...
do that with Ito.
Right. And since we're talking about Highland Fairview, what is in play right now, and I said it on my show earlier, is he's positioning his employees to run on these different boards, planning commission, school board, and city council. Now, those are the three most influential areas, if you're a developer, to have a majority interest in, because when your project is in confliction with one of these areas, the project stops. So if he's got his employees where he wants them to be, overwhelming Bell, my God, Bell's cracking him. Bell's cracking him. Sorry about that, but we love Bell. So
I was like, that's not me.
Yeah, but Bell's over here farting everybody. So, but he's got these people in position to where his project is going to be unassailable and no conflict of interest. So when that infrastructure bond hits, it's a go all the way through with no problem. What do you think, Sean?
I think it's likely. I think it's also likely that he can cross every T and dot every I to avoid any legal challenges.
Right.
I think there would be he would have a hard. It would be hard to find a jury that would not have questions about why a city council approved a bond that's something like 4 or 5 times its total revenue coming into the city annually.
Right, and a project that this man has touted that he will pay for wholeheartedly, 25 years out. So that's something to talk about. I talked about it on my show, and I don't get upset anymore because there's nothing to get upset about. It's already done. We have an uneducated population. Roy Bleckert has proven that. And I don't mean that like as a slight. I'm saying statistically, he's proven that we have an uneducated population here. And, for those of us that have degrees, there are no jobs. That's why the people that have degrees, we're commuting where we need to go to make that living. The ones that don't have degrees are the ones that are like, jobs, any minimum wage job. And that's what we're doing. Is she? Belle, move. Anyway, Belle just wants you to bask in the ambience.
I don't want to do
That's
that.
okay. There you go. There you go. So, Mighty Max, since it's the Valentine special here, how was your Valentine's?
It was good.
I heard.
Here's the deal. I'm in a open relationship.
Yes, like you said last week.
So
Describe open, because when I hear people say that, I'm like, what does that mean?
You know what it means. You were young.
let me break it down. Basically, Mr. Northside is coming out of a 4-year serious relationship with the mother of his children, and we were hooking up. We weren't supposed to begin developing feelings for one another, right? I wasn't looking for anything serious.
What does hooking up mean? I mean, I don't even understand that.
Don't make me put myself out here on here like that.
People, okay?
It was definitely not. We went out for, mutually beneficial good time, right? And so what happened was we started spending a lot of time with each other. We like each other, but not necessarily ready for a serious relationship. I spent 6 out of 7 days over there. I have a drawer at his house. My toothbrush is there. My clothes are there. So realistically, it's just allows him the freedom to go out and meet extra if he likes it. I'm a little skinny.
Why can't I find girls like that? Go ahead.
I'm a little skinny to what he would prefer. So, he likes to play around and indulge himself into thicker women, which doesn't bother me because it is what it is. I just don't have a need for anyone else. If someone else approaches me and I like it and it's something I'm willing to vibe with, then what's up? But prior to North, I was not dating. So.
Right. And for the record, I invited Max to go out with me for Valentine's, and she told me flat down.
No, you did not.
So,
one of my Snapchat followers, I haven't been asked to be anyone's Valentine in a long time. One of my Snapchat followers asked to take me out on a Valentine's date, but then it got really weird. He was like, yeah, I want to go to the movies, and then I want to go to dinner, and then I want to get in a jacuzzi.
50 Shades Grayer.
Right? And I was like, jacuzzi? Bro, I don't even know you. But my Valentine's night actually did end up in a jacuzzi. We had a real chill night. And
that's good.
Then went back to his place and had a nightcap.
Chill nightcap. Okay, good. Thank you for being PG.
But what was great is it's always Valentine's Day over here on this side. He's always doing nice things and taking care of me. So yesterday I made it about him, and I got him what he liked.
And I'm so jealous.
And rather than the traditional all for the ladies type thing, he had a bad day, so it was good to make him feel good.
That's awesome. Yeah. For those that you guys don't know, Max has a cute picture up on her Facebook page of her dad and her sister, and you see this cute little chocolate little girl smiling like she does now as an adult, and it's a really cute picture. It really is. You get a chance, check it out, because Max.
Just Max and JUSP.
Just Max, and she was a little girl at one time. So that was a few years ago, but it is what it is.
Right.
But Sean, so what's been happening? What have you been hearing on the streets?
Not much lately. Mostly just the Evan Morgan crap.
Right.
So you already went over most of that.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm not done with that either. But
I just
last week we went to U.S. Vets, and I want to again for those of you don't have to be a veteran to ask a question. So if you're out there and you're homeless, you need assistance, you can contact U.S. Vets, and the executive director is Eddie Estrada. I got to work on my tongue. Eddie Estrada. Estrada. I love the way I love the Spanish culture. I'm sorry, the way the
¿Tú hablas español?
Sí. But his number is 951-999-9120. Just ask a question. So if you're out there and you're a civilian and you're homeless, ask the question, because you got to start somewhere. And if you don't have the information, and I'm sure he has resources that can help you as well. Yeah. So, and if you know a vet that might be out there and might need some assistance, again, refer them to that. But speaking of the homeless here in Moreno Valley, why do you think we have so many homeless here in Moreno Valley? Anybody know?
I've heard they might be Prop 47, AB 109 rejects.
Sure.
I've heard that the unemployment rate is still 12 to 14%.
Absolutely.
Any economic improvement, every claim of jobs has been a lie for the last 8 years.
Right. Absolutely. You're hitting everything right on the nail. Good to keep going if you can.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly where they're originally from. I don't know how many are recent hard luck cases. There's still a lot that we still don't know a whole lot about what all these people's case.
Everything Sean just said is very true. But here's one thing that people because I was out and about as I usually am, and they say, God, there's so many homeless out here. Me and Pastor Don were talking about it in his show and stuff before the show. And what people fail to realize is when you have empty warehouses and a bunch of warehouses that are not being utilized, what do you think is going to happen? I'm a homeless person. I'm going to go over there and squat and not bother anybody and stay over there. And
any empty buildings and shopping centers tends to attract them, really.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what you're saying.
I live in Riverside off of Mission Inn Boulevard, right by Mount Rubidoux. And
that encampment that's over there.
And often when I go up the mountain, you look down, you
can
see
see
a whole
it.
bunch of tents.
Yeah.
And I think recently they've cut the bushes down to try to keep them out of there. But
Yeah, well, what they're doing down in Harupa in that area, what it is they're moving more eastward because they had a big encampment right off of Pedley encampment, and then they cut all that brush off and moved them over and kept moving, and they're just keep moving them east and east and east. And it's very sad. So,
what I'm also concerned about lately is the health issues from having growing units with no sanitary
yes,
situation.
absolutely, and
accommodations.
and if you watch the local news, Santa Ana has the same problem. There was a homeless encampment by the ravine right off the 57 freeway next to Anaheim Stadium, and they cleared that out, and the county used the excuse of, well, this is our storage facility area, and moved them over, and all the homeless people did was go across the ravine to the other side. But when you invest in warehouses as much as the Inland Empire has, that is a magnet for homeless people because not all of those buildings are being utilized. And right here in Moreno Valley, it's showing you.
Well, the question is, where are they going to go?
Good question.
Where are they going to go?
Good question.
They move them from one, because I see it, like I said, where I live. I mean, literally, like I said, from one side of the street
to the other side, right?
So
right.
where are they going to go?
They're back.
Yeah.
Right.
Why don't we put them in the FEMA camps? No, I'm joking. I'd say,
yeah,
whatever that is.
I don't
No,
know about
but again,
well, I heard the
yeah, but but that's what I'm saying. Why is it that the county, the state government, and the city government does not address this homeless issue?
They do, but it's like we don't want them here.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying we're paying all these taxes for a developer who isn't doing nothing for the city. So why are we throwing our money over there when we could be the $800 million infrastructure that Ido Benvizi wants for his project that is 25 years out, which is never going to be built? Why don't we take that money? I'd rather give my tax dollars to the homeless and help my fellow person in the city.
But also, I've been wondering if it might be worthwhile to get some, just put some porta cans out.
Sure.
Control things like hepatitis, E. coli, cyclosporia, any of the...
Right. Well, like I said, you're right on something. Okay, we have these empty warehouses, right? They're not being utilized. Have the city lease the empty warehouses, open it up, bring some volunteers in that want to help and stuff like that, and have them utilized and put like a military type, tents and beds in there and stuff like that, and they're free to come in until that building is being utilized, which will never be utilized. But
or at least they got 25 years.
Right. But you see what I'm saying? The ones that are empty.
I think it's got like 55, 60 years to actually get his act together.
I don't think it's ever going to happen because he's a land speculator. But Pastor and I were talking about why these organizations don't do what they're supposed to do. So let's talk about the NAACP. For those of you that don't know, Denise Fleming from Chicago. I'm Denise Fleming. Don't you know who I am? Who's going around everywhere trying to get elected to something.
Anything.
Recently is going to be awarded the Political Award of the Year from the NAACP. Why is she going to be awarded for losing?
That's a good question.
You remember the NAACP, aren't you? You advised them?
I think it's expired.
Yes, it's expired. Okay. Well, hey, I was a member too, so but then I wised up.
Maybe it was for just being so open and accessible in the political realm.
That's right. I'm Denise Fleming. I'm from Chicago.
And just being an advocate of change, even though she didn't win, she did run.
That's right. And, I can't wait to get on my knees. I can't wait to work with you. Her exact
Get on
words.
my knees.
That's her exact
She
words,
said
and
get
you
on
were
my
there.
knees.
I didn't hear the get on my knees part now.
Well, I'm paraphrasing.
yeah.
I mean, but you were there when she ran up to him and was like, "Oh God, oh I love Ito.
I just saw the
love
interaction,
Jerry."
but I didn't hear what was going on.
Okay, right.
And
Okay.
I'm going on record with that one.
I try
Okay.
not to know what's going on in that part.
Yes, absolutely.
And
But-
their relationships.
But it seems like everybody that bought into this Ito Benvizi thing, oh, he's a saint. Oh, he's this. Where are these people at now? But I want to get back to the I'm not done with the NAACP. Why are you giving somebody an award that has not done anything in the community but continue to sell us down the road?
Well, maybe you should call them, or
They don't want to talk to me.
but you have to. You're
Because they're with her. Remember that? Remember that? They're with her.
You're related to somebody who's on the board
Yes, I am related to somebody who's on the board.
who can give you those answers like that.
And I was raised correctly, and I will not engage in an argument with my elder.
You won't argue. Just say, "Hey, what's up? What's this political award about?" It's just very vague. Political
And my
awards,
elders
what
are
it says.
smart enough to know that I have a show, and they will not divulge any
Right.
information to me. So,
Well, it's public knowledge.
yeah, but I'm just trying to figure out, politically, she was on the school board and ran for mayor and lost. Every candidate the NAACP endorsed in the Inland Empire, just about every one of them lost. And that's what happens when you take your hit, you put it to a political party, hook, line, and sinker, rather than looking at the individual candidate and saying what they're going to do.
I'd be interested in finding out how come,
One of the main...
or why I should say. I said how come. Why? Why she's getting the award?
Right. And I think I'll make that an assignment and dig into that.
Be very interesting.
And another question I have is when I've been asked on my radio show earlier, somebody asked me, they go, well, Donovan, you're a young guy. I'm almost 47 years old this year. How am I a young guy?
Not at all.
No, but I am a young guy compared to the people that are still in power in NAACP, and a lot of your candidates. Donald Trump is 70-something years old.
Yeah, and then most of Congress is
In their 70s,
Jesus is,
right.
High school classmates.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And so when it comes to NAACP, like I said, I'm not against
So would they still be using like a 1960s or 70s model for
Yes, their rhetoric is all, I'm Auschwitz King. I was there. John Lewis, oh, I'm an icon. I was on Selma. We got to sit down. What the hell you doing sitting down in the Capitol? What's that going to do? The Republicans ran right over him. Like, we're going to pass everything anyway. Waste of time. And see, and that's to my point. I'm not against the NAACP. I'm against the fact that at 47 years old, that I am, that's why I'm not running ever again, because I'm too old to run for this bullcrap. We need younger people like Jaime Moreno running in District 4. He's one of the guys, I don't know if he's filed or whatever, and I'm going to get to that in a second, to start stepping up. Now, if, LaDonna Jensen, that kid. Well, damn, if I'm a kid to you at 46 years old at the time, how old are you? So think about that. Now, in NAACP, I was a member, and I wised up and finally said, you know what, I've had enough of this, because they stack and keep everybody down. Now, the president of the local NAACP, God bless her, I'm just trying to emphasize my point. The lady could barely walk. Okay? She's been there since the 60s. When new leadership, so when my aunt and people that I know that are members of it say, Donovan, can you help us do this? No, I don't want to help you, because you guys don't want to change.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder, are you even going to listen to me?
Exactly.
If I, because I've been not just at those meetings, but other meetings where the leadership.
We've been on bus rides.
Where the leadership has been in place forever.
Right.
And so they invite you to these groups. Initially to hear what you got to say, the input, but I didn't even get to say one word.
And speaking of groups, you recently went to an NAACP thing where Denise Fleming showed up late, but we got to get all 3 questions in because I'm Denise Fleming. And you were there from the beginning.
I was.
And?
Well, originally we were supposed to ask Mark Takano. He showed up.
Yes.
Questions he was going to answer. Questions.
Where with him?
To the questions of the NAACP regarding the Black community. But I would say that they didn't ask a whole lot of questions.
No, it was always about my Medicaid, my what's me.
Yeah,
Not the community. Me. What's in it for me?
That's kind of where what I was left, the impression I was left with.
Right. Right.
I was kind of upset that
No, you were a lot upset because you called me.
that
Cursing.
that I wasted an evening.
Yes.
Because I asked some questions.
And we
asked
continually
whatever.
waste our time supporting.
Yeah.
So was the NAACP meeting with Mark Takano basically more about the concerns of like
No.
pensioners and Social Security versus
No. What politicians do is they pander to the Black audience and these old handkerchief heads, Uncle Remus and, Aunt Jemimas and whoever. And, and they go along with the program because NAACP wants that check from the Democratic Party. And these are the people that lead the younger people, inexperienced teenagers, not people my age, but the inexperienced political people and say, oh, yeah, look, we want you to go up to this congressman and tell him that you're backing this. The kids don't even know what the thing is about. They're told what it's about.
Well, I would just like to back away from Uncle Remus and Aunt Jemima comment there.
Solely Donovan Sadiq.
You got
Yes.
that right, Jack. I just think they don't know how to relinquish control or whatever they want to call it to
the only thing
somebody else.
The only thing they know how to relinquish, they know how to do it, carry them out in a pine box.
And that's sad. That's sad.
That's how they know how to do it.
While they're doing that, then you do have younger people who are waiting to take the lead, but they get uninterested.
Exactly.
And then they go away.
Right. And it's very sad because whenever my aunt asks me to help out or volunteer, my answer now is no. Absolutely not. And it's really sad because I'm not saying I'm all that, but I do have influence where I could bring people and get them excited and, hey, come and check this out or come and do this.
Yeah.
I was on a funky, broken ass bus up to Sacramento to be where with her? Dummy. Hillary Clinton lost. But whoever this lady was, where with her? Very sad. Very sad. So that's my 2 cents on the NAACP. Do you want to close?
That's a good example of why
they're dying.
Lost because
And they're dying.
They just assumed that the Black community was going to act as a voting bloc behind them.
Exactly.
As opposed to
that's what they were used to. That's what they were used to. But these younger people are waking up and saying, you know what, that's some bullshit. Straight out.
Yeah.
So, but Dee was there. The lady pointed me out and I was about to go off. But luckily my maturity.
Yes, for maturity.
Yes. Went out because I knew my aunt was there. I didn't want to embarrass the family because I was going to go off. Dee knows me. I will go off.
I'm like, oh my God.
So.
And then I went off later.
Yeah, I did. So.
I have something I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead.
Last Saturday, I was at a 40 Days for Life event in Riverside.
Okay.
For pro-life demonstrations. And I got to meet Sandra Merritt, the lady that's behind the CMP Undercover videos.
Sure.
And having time to talk to her privately and even have dinner with her sit down and have dinner with her was just absolutely amazing. She's an incredible person, incredible wisdom. But the one thing I noticed, and I'm probably going to put pictures up later tonight in the video later tonight, is I noticed there were no Black people there at all on either side. Now, the thing I'm wondering, I know maybe
Did they serve any fried chicken?
No, but the thing I'm wondering though is, I mean, I'm sure some of the things I say come off as racist, but the thing I want people to know is that if our society is going to function the way it should, we can't leave the Black community behind. We're supposed to be working as one society.
Society, exactly.
So I'm just, this is more like a question for you and Dee. Where are the Black people? I mean, 1/3 of the Black population gets aborted every year, and
Did you say aborted? Like
abortion? As in abortion, that's a fact. Yeah.
In some places, it's as high as like 55, 56%.
Well, I'm going to answer that for you. First of all, I wasn't raised Black. I was raised in the military, so I don't know anything about the Black. No, I'm joking. But you know what I'm getting at. You hit that right on the nail, Sean. And it's just it's a sad Dee. You know the statistics of what's going on and stuff. Could you?
Okay, so if I understand this right, you want to know why the Black community is behind?
What I'm most curious curious about right now is why they didn't show up on either side.
We're disinterested. Ratchetness lives.
Well, I don't know about that. I just think, geez, how can I say this? They didn't show up on either side. I just think a lot of times people feel like it doesn't affect me, even though we know it does. They just, when I was working, I used to work in Frito-Lay, and we have these business meetings, and they had this term called WIFM. What's in it for me?
What's in it for me?
So a lot of people, will probably look at it that way and say, well, what's in it for me to show up? Even sometimes people are looking for something tangible. It has to be a good reason for me to show up. Right. Also, I think this is really a lack of education. Mm-hmm. People aren't educated on the dynamics of something like, Planned Parenthood, either side. I used to support it blindly, not really knowing anything. Hey, they're giving birth control for people who, this is when I was much younger, don't want to have kids and all this other stuff. But it's like educating myself about the eugenics program and all of that. I was like, whoa, is this something that we should be supporting? So it's really hard to say, but I really do think a lot of people just think, what's in it for me?
Well, it's just like the election. Dee was advising me, and it's just like Denise Fleming's election. You can't win an election based on the black vote. And
I'm on the late freight with this. A friend of mine from high school, is a white guy, asked me had I watched was it The People versus OJ?
Yes, right.
That series, and I had not.
That's a good series, wasn't it?
And my boyfriend a while back asked me to watch it. I said, I'm going to watch it because my friend from high school had questions. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I'll watch it. It took me 2 days to watch the thing, and the question that I had was, other than OJ being black, why did the black community get behind OJ? I mean, I know the reasons.
There's all kinds
of one for us.
Yeah, which is ignorant.
They know how it feels.
Which is ignorant.
Yeah, but just if the details of the movie were true, and I believe for the most part they were. I really wanted to know on a deeper level, why did we support him? For one, he didn't think he was black. He had left the black community, then, never turned back.
Right, and then here's the sad thing: after he got acquitted, he didn't even go and thank you or anything.
Right, so
into the black community.
I just think.
Do you believe that he did it?
You know what? I've always believed that if he didn't do it, he knows something about it.
Well, see,
I think he's not blind to what's going on.
Here's what I tell all my friends: with the amount of blood, and you look at the physical evidence, physics, all that blood that was all on the ground and the lady's head decapitated. Rich people, and here's the thing rich people do. Okay, I'm not rich, but I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah, you are. You lying?
Yeah, okay, I've seen a lot of movies. They do not. There's a thing in court called dirty hands. You don't go into court with dirty hands.
Right.
Rich people do not murder themselves. They're not going to go in there. OJ had so much money at that time, he could have gone to Compton or anywhere. You got people that are killing them for biscuits.
Honestly, you know what I think?
It looked like it was more a matter of jealous rage, a lack of impulse control.
Right, but
but then there's this other theory,
but the thing is that the LAPD botched part of the investigation to where there was.
They're bringing blood to the scene.
Yeah, that's the thing is that there was his thumbprint and her blood in his house.
Well, they were married and they were still hitting it on the side occasionally.
Well, the bloody thumbprint in his house with her blood. So,
but they also had DNA of another DNA that they couldn't even identify.
I think the main problem with that case, and I kind of always thought this, was Mark Fuhrman.
Yes, that turned it into a racial.
After I watched the movie too, I was wondering, well, how come they didn't do thorough research on him before they decided to make him the star witness?
Right.
But back to the question of what was the question about why black people?
Yeah, why did we don't support? We didn't, like Sean said. Why aren't we on this side of the issue?
And I will say this because I spend not as much time as I used to on social media, but I was a lot of these what they call conscious groups. That's what we're calling people who are awake now in the black communities, conscious groups.
Right.
And they spend a lot of time arguing over silly stuff.
Silly.
I mean,
silly.
it's like this is what makes us conscious.
Right.
Whether a woman wants to wear a wig on her head, or I mean, this is what people.
Wait, are you?
Well, I mean, it's
Okay.
right. They're just saying that when a rock is thrown into the crowd, the one that hollers is the one that got hit.
And I did get hit. I have no problem saying that.
We don't educate ourselves.
Right.
And I think that's a part of the problem.
And we're not interested in educating ourselves. We'd rather be ignorant.
We're educated on memes.
Right.
And, you know, whatever people put on the internet, it must be true.
Right. I mean, a good example. Remember that meme where the Ronald McDonald
Oh my
thing?
God.
And look how much attention that got versus... No, you know what I'm saying? And then the allegations, who did what and what did what. You know, it's very, very sad.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I'm one of the people that I do believe OJ did it, but I do not believe he physically himself did it. Personally.
I honestly, I might get excommunicated from the black community. Well, maybe not now. We don't really like OJ much.
Right.
I think he did it.
Yeah, I did.
I think he did it, but we know that, you know, to get murder one, it needs to be without
Doubt.
doubt.
Right.
And there was doubt.
Right. But, you know, long story short, Sean, when it comes to politics and stuff, we've... did you see that meme I put up a couple of days ago where Lyndon Johnson made a statement?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That one, that's
Yes, I
exactly
remember that meme.
what it is, because he paid us off. He paid these pastors off. That's why the pastors don't get involved anymore. We've been paid off. Me...
501c3s didn't help.
Right, but it's just like Steve Harvey, the Steve Harvey situation.
Yeah.
That's a playbook that Republicans use and Democrats use, and they just go like this. You know, we call it cooning. Because what you do is you bring these. We're not the only ones, but you get the comedians and the athletes to meet with the president instead of the Black Caucus. People that are elected to be leaders, and we look at those people as our inspiration. And if Michael Jordan had met with Trump, black people would fall right in line. Right in line. So it's just a sad thing that we do. And like you said, with the numbers in the black genocide that's going on, of us aborting and doing that, people don't want to talk about it. But in the black community, when a girl gets pregnant, it is ingrained in her mind. Her life is over. You've just destroyed yourself. I mean, you know what I mean? In general, you know, not in all cases, but in general.
The sad thing is that that's part of the eugenics propaganda.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So Max, you're a young lady out there having fun and doing things like that. Do you happen to have an opinion?
I have been pro-choice my entire life.
Okay.
And the reason behind it is because I feel like sometimes people may get into, especially in the younger generation, like my generation, millennials, because of the music we listen to and the television we watch, like sex is so everywhere. Mm-hmm. And some people might get them in situations that they're not necessarily ready to be in. And so I feel like if you know that you're not fit to be a mother, or you don't have the means, the income, family support, the knowledge to be a parent, and on your own, because, you know, niggas ain't shit. But,
okay.
They can be, but not all guys leave. But, you know, really on your own, then you should be able to make a sound decision before 12 weeks and have an abortion. And I've believed that since middle school. It's been my thought as soon as I learned what it was. And I know some people don't believe in that. There's adoption, there's this, there's that. But if I carry a baby for 9 months, I'm not about to give it up.
Well, here's what I don't understand. I think, like I said, I'm pro-life. It's funny how people who are pro-life, they're for the death penalty.
Okay, well, that's the interesting thing. You can divide people up into 4 categories in that. People that are pro-life and don't oppose the death penalty.
Right.
You got people that are pro-life and pro-death penalty. You've got people that are more nihilists and pro-abortion, pro-death penalty, that no lives really matter. But the one that seems to be the odd one is the people that are pro-choice and anti-death penalty. It's like almost like you're saving the babies and killing the babies and saving the killers.
Yeah, but you reverse it. I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense. If you're pro-life, you're pro-life. You don't believe in killing. You just don't.
Right. Well, here's my thing about I am pro-choice, and against the death penalty, but not because I want to respect those people's lives. I just think they should rot in jail.
I'm pro-choice, and I'm against the death penalty. Pro-choice because if you're thinking about it from a biblical standpoint,
Sure.
God gives us a choice. He gives us free will. So who is man to say, you can't do this with your body? You can't
Right.
do this.
Well-
now, I'm not saying it's right.
Okay, we were going on a good subject. I'm going to tell you this right here. I'm going to give you two ladies something that me and Sean would, most men always wonder. Why is it
I know what you're going to ask me.
that, okay, like when me and your sister have a baby, okay,
Oh, okay,
I'm just
I
telling
gotta
the
tell
future.
her.
Okay, when we have our baby, and let's say she decides she doesn't, now half of that baby is mine. Why is it that she gets to make the decision if that child lives or dies?
I mean, I guess it really goes back to because it's in her body.
Right.
It's her body. I mean, I know it's your child too, but it's in her body.
She has to carry it.
But still.
And then technically, you don't know that if it's your baby until you.
Hey, don't talk about Amanda like that. Don't you talk about my black queen.
Here's the deal.
How dare you?
You really have the choice to pick up and leave. Now, I understand that some mothers...
No, I wasn't raised like that. But
some mothers have they're bad and they leave as well, but the mother really has to feed the child when they first are born. They have to nurture. They have to care for it.
Right, by putting us on child support and so don't let us see the baby and all that other stuff. Okay, so
that does happen a lot.
But I just feel like because it is in my body and I have to carry it for 9 months and I have to deal with telling my parents that I'm pregnant and I have to deal with my life changing forever because I have a baby in my stomach. I get to choose if I no longer want that in my stomach due to a abortion by pill or abortion by surgical removal.
Well, the thing is, what if the father wants to raise it and try and raise it to be like
Right. That's what I'm saying.
a doctor, a general, or military general?
Absolutely.
I think if the dad wants to be able to take that baby
And raise it.
without requiring any financial support out of the mother.
Oh, no, I'm putting her on child support. I'm putting her on child support.
I just feel like if you really want a baby that bad and your partner decided she wanted to abort it, go find somebody else and do it.
This is probably more makes more sense than it should, but to me it boils down to not sleeping with just everybody unaffected. I mean, I personally know people, or I should say women, who have used birth control. I mean, abortion as a form of birth control.
And it's not. Plan B isn't even a form of birth control.
Well, and when I say that, it's like, oh, I'm pregnant again. Okay, I guess I'm going down to the
Right.
Oh, I'm pregnant again.
Which gives us the high numbers in our community.
So,
really, really bad.
To me, there should be some sort of a checks and balance system at that point. Okay, listen, this is your 6th time here.
Well,
Right.
Somewhere should be a cutoff somewhere.
Right.
And I know Planned Parenthood, if you go there for more than 3 abortions, they really do like, great, so what type of birth control are we going to put you on before you leave here? I just think it's dumb that it's 2017.
Yeah, and women are getting pregnant.
I'm a firm believer in Mirena, number one, because I can't remember to take a pill at the same time every single day. I don't want to go in every 3 months for the depot, but the Mirena lasts in my body for 5 years.
Me and Son are sitting here like, huh? Go ahead.
And I have not gotten pregnant. I love the Mirena.
Knock on wood.
Right, knock on wood, because I do get down. But I just feel like we need to be more mindful of proactive care, just in general, not just like with this topic alone, but just in general with our health rather than reactive, because after so many abortions, doesn't it start to weigh heavy on your heart?
That's what I was about to
No,
say.
those are heartless individuals.
A lot of women that have abortions regret it and can't take it back.
Yeah.
Some, yeah.
Yeah, the serial abortion havers, if that's even the correct term, they don't care.
Yeah.
Well, what kills me is these fathers that are out there impregnating multiple women, and they don't care.
Right.
That's what really is a big problem. But we're going to continue this topic in the next hour. A lot of stuff is we still got to talk about. Sean's got his. We're going to talk about some guns and what's going on with the right wing over there. Sean's on the right. I'm in the middle. D is on the left. And we're going to check it out next hour. Hot Seat Radio Show.